Good morning, students. Myself Arvind Patnaik, and I will be going through your MySQL uh, that is in your practicals. Okay, and see, first we should know what is RDBMS. See, RDBMS is nothing but it is relational database management system. Okay, so why we use this RDBMS, relational database management system, in computer science? See, since the inventions of computer, uh, we computer was invented to solve problems, to write programs, and writing programs we used to solve a problem. But later they thought of storing data in computers. And see, why do we need to store data in computers? That is, so that we can retrieve the data whenever we need it for our use in future. So this RDBMS, relational database management system, was introduced where we can store data, and whenever needed we can retrieve the data and we can manipulate the data. Okay, and see, RDBMS uses SQL, structure query language. It uses structure query language. Okay, so see, there are several RDBMS system. See, for example, I can tell IBM DB2, IBM DB2, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, SQLite, Postgres SQL. These are the several RDBMS system available, and in your course we are going to study MySQL. And see, MySQL is a relational database management system. What do you mean by relational database management system? It is nothing but we used to store data in form of tables, and a table has rows and columns. And this MySQL, it uses structure query language. All those relational database management system, that may be your IBM DB2, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, SQLite, and Postgres SQL, they uses structure query language. And in your course we are having MySQL, that is RDBMS. Okay, and it uses structure query language. And coming to the next part, see, what is MySQL? See, it is an open source. MySQL is an open source software. It is freely available. It is freely available. You can download it from MySQL, www.mysql.org. You visit this site to download this MySQL, and it uses structure query language. See, what is this structure query language? It is nothing but it is a set of statements. It is a set of statements that queries a relation. It is a set of statements. See, every RDBMS uses this SQL. It's a standard that is used for all RDBMS system. And it is nothing but it is set of statements that queries a relation. And now, we'll come to the point, what is a relation? See, in RDBMS, this term are referred to relation. And relation is nothing but, think it is a rectangular structure which consists of rows and columns, and where we used to store data in those structures. Okay, so I can, and it is freely available. You can go to the website mysql.org and you can download it. Okay, and see, now coming to your SQL, that is structure query language. As I told you, this structure query language is used by all those RDBMS system. And see, I can tell this SQL is divided into the SQL statements, is a set of statements that queries a relation, are divided into three types. That is DDL. DDL stands for Data Definition Language. DDL stands for Data Definition Language. And we used to have DML. It stands for Data Manipulation Language. It stands for Data Manipulation Language. And TCL, that is Transaction Control Language. Transaction Control Language. And see, in your course, we will study this DDL and DML. And what is this DDML? See, I told that your SQL statements are divided into three categories. One is data definition language, another one is DML, data manipulation language, another one is transaction control language. So what is this DDL? And what are the statements that are associated with DDL? See, DDL is nothing but it's a language of SQL that defines the structure in which data is stored. And this language of SQL is used to create a table, it is used to alter a table, or I can tell to drop a table. So I can tell the commands associated with DDL is create table, alter table, and drop table. Okay, so these are the commands or statements associated with your DDL. Now come to the second part, that is your DML, data manipulation language. See, this language of SQL is used to insert, retrieve, modify and delete data from a table. So it can be used for retrieving data. And how we used to retrieve data? We used to retrieve data using select command. This is the select statement in your what? DML. And we used to insert, suppose I want to insert a data, a row to a table, I can use this insert command. And I want to update the data. Suppose I want to modify the age of a person or age of a student or roll number of a student. I can do using, or I can change it or modify it using update statement. And delete. Suppose I want to, suppose a student took TC. Suppose I have stored information of student in a table and a student took TC. I have to delete that student, and that can be achieved through your delete statement. And your transaction control language. See, Here we used to have commands, commit, rollback, and so on. This is not there in your syllabus. So this command is used to make changes in the table. Commit command. And rollback is used to undo the changes or undo the changes of in the table. So these are not there in your course. So we will go through this DDL and DML statements. Okay. Now, see, now see, so I told that RDBMS is a relational database management system where we used to store data or information in the form of a table. And when I use this word table, it is nothing but it's a collection of rows and columns where we can store data in an organized way or organized form. See, for example, I will give an example. Suppose I want to store data of a student. So how we used to store? See, I will draw a rectangular structure. And suppose I will give a name to this table, this rectangular structure, which consists of rows and columns, and it has a column heading. See, suppose this is a column, this is another column, this is another column. Okay. And suppose I will write role as the column heading and name of the student as another column heading, and suppose age and suppose address or marks. So always in RDBMS, data is stored in the form of tables, and a table has rows and columns. And these are the column heading. So we are going to create such table in MySQL using SQL language to store or to create this rectangular structure which is known as table. It is also known as what? It is a table. It is also known as what? Relation. And these are the columns. This is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4. Till now we are not having any rows. And see, these columns are also known as attributes. The other name of columns are attributes. That means we are having 4 attributes or 4 columns in the table. And we are not having till now a row. So suppose I want to store roll number as 20, name as suppose Raj, age as suppose 16, marks as suppose 95.6. Suppose I want to store, see, these are all rows of the table. Suppose I want to store another roll number, suppose Sami, and suppose this is 17 and marks is suppose 92.5. So see, here I am having 2 rows and I have stored these rows in the table that is student. And these rows, they are known as also tuples. They are also known as tuples. Okay. So this is how the data is stored in RDBMS. So it is nothing but it's a rectangular structure, and that rectangular structure name is either table or relation. It consists of rows and columns, and the columns, there are 4 columns, and these columns are referred as also attributes, and the rows, there are 2 rows in this rectangular structure or table, and these are referred as tuples. Okay. So this is how we used to store. And one important thing to note here, see, every column, see, this is a column, this is a column, this is also another column, this is also another column. See, you will be studying Java, and to store integer data, we used to have a data type. we used to declare a integer variable. To store decimal places data, we used to declare float variable. Same. See, in SQL also, every column has a data type. And they are of same data type. See, roll number, every value in this column will be of integer data type. Name. See, in Java used to have this data type as string. Here also we are having a same data type to store name or place names. Okay. So see, the name, all the data types are similar. So this column has a data type, name column. Same age column has a data type, and marks column will be having a data type. And see, what will be the data type for roll? It will be integer. What will be the data type for name? It stores characters. And what will be the data type for this column age? It will be integer. And what will be the data type for marks? It will be decimal. Okay. So now we are going to study how to create such table and how to store data, or I will tell the rows or information in the table. Okay. So see, I told you that that SQL is divided into, that is DDL language, DML language and TCL language. And DDL language, that is data definition language, is used to create a table. So to create a table, before creating a table, see, suppose I want to create a table. Suppose table name is student, and suppose I will have a student ID, STUD ID. It's a unique ID. Whenever you join a college or school, every college school has a student ID. So I am having the first column name as student ID. Then I want to have name of the student. I want to have marks of the student, and I want to have, that is stream. Okay. See, here, see, I am giving an example where it will cover all those data types. So these 4 columns, I want to create this table, and table name is student. See, so see this column, the data type for this column will be integer. What will be the data type for this name? It will be character. And what will be the data type for marks? It will be decimal. And what will be the data type for stream? Again, it will be a character. So I will discuss about these 3 data types. And see, integer data type. We can also use this, the entire keyword integer, or I can write also int. See, while creating this table, we will use this data type. Okay. And for character data type, for storing name, for storing streams, see, I will have the stream as humanities, or I can tell arts, science and commerce. Suppose I am going to create a table for a school which has 3 streams, arts, commerce and science. Okay. And to store name and streams and address of a student, we need to have data type as characters. See, name cannot be integer. Okay. So what is character? We used to have n. This is the how we used to have this data type. Char and n. N is the width of the data type. How many characters it will store? Width of the data type. And it is an integer value. And decimal, it stores, that is decimal data type stores what type of values? That is numbers with decimal places. Okay. So I will use those 3 data types while creation of these tables. And you know, student ID, I will take it as integer. For name, I will take it as character. For marks, I will take it as decimal, and for stream I will take it as character. So these are the basic data types in SQL. Okay. So see, now we are going to create those table. Okay, create this table student. Okay. See, when you see, it is MySQL is freely downloadable from the website, and you can download it, and you can after installation of this MySQL, you can go to start all programs, and you can click on MySQL command line client to open MySQL, and there it will ask you for the password. You have to type whatever password you have assigned while installing the software, and then it will come as what? MySQL prompt. Okay, so you will be getting this window of MySQL where you can type commands. Okay, so see, this is how to start your MySQL, and here we are going to write commands of SQL. Okay, and how to write the commands? See, before writing a command, I will make some note regarding it. See, SQL, it is not a case sensitive language. See, Java is a case sensitive language. That means it differentiates uppercase and lowercase letters. But SQL, it is not a case sensitive language. Okay. And that means uppercase and lowercase alphabet are same. If I write a command, suppose select command, there is a command in MySQL. If I write everything in small or lowercase alphabets, it is correct, or I can write also in capital letter. It is also correct. That's why it is known as not a case sensitive language. Whereas you are studying Java, it's a case sensitive language. Okay. So, and every statements in SQL must ends with a semicolon. See, whenever we used to write statements in SQL, every statement must ends with a semicolon. So these two things you have to note. It is not a case sensitive language, and statements in SQL must ends with a semicolon. Okay. So now come to the point. So now we are going to create a table. आमे ये table टा केमती create करिया. आओ ये table दे चारिटा column अच्छी. आओ सबु column पाए आमे data type अच्छी. And data types, what we studied? Data types we studied as integer, we studied character, we studied decimal. Okay. So before creating this table, just I want to tell you the syntax how to create a table. See, and to create a table, we use a command that is create, it's a keyword, then table, it's a keyword, then we used to provide a table name. Okay, this table name has to be specified by the user. Here, what is the table name I will create? I will have, that is student. Okay, and see, these two are keyword, and I can write it in uppercase as well as in lowercase because it is not a case sensitive language. Okay, then we will start a open bracket, then we will give the column names. So first column name, column 1, this column 1, whatever it is, student ID. Then I will have the data type. Then I will have, if the data type has size, then I will use size. For character we are having size. Okay. Then we will have comma. This is the descriptions of the first column, that is you have to write the first column name, then the data type, then the size of the data type, then you have to write column 2, then again column 2 has a data type, and if there is a size you have to mention the size, and so on up to column n, data type and your size. And I told you at the beginning, it is not a case sensitive language, so I can write it in uppercase or lowercase alphabet, and I have also told a second note, that is it must ends with a semicolon. आमे जितने बेले लिखू आमे एक statement, at the end we have to put a semicolon. So this is the syntax, or I can tell rule, to write a SQL statement to create a table where we are going to store data. Okay, so see, just I am underlining it. This has to be specified by the user. All red colors I am giving it, that is specified by the users, and these two are keywords. Okay, so I want to create this table, student. So tell me, I have written this statement. I wrote create, then table. Then what is the table name? Table name is student. So what I will do? I will write here the table name as what? That is student. Okay. Then column 1. What is the column 1 name? Column 1 name is STUDID, student ID. What is the data type we will take? Data type we will take as what? INT. So this is the description of the first column, that is the column name and the data type, and if it is having a size, you have to mention the size. There is no size for integer, so I will put a comma here. Then what is the second column name? Second column name is name. So I will write name. Name is the second column name. And what is the data type? Character, suppose 15. It will go up to 15 characters. Then comma. Okay. Then I will have the third column. What is the third column? That is marks, and we are having a data type as decimal. Comma. Then I will have, see there is no space, so I am coming down. So it is stream. I can write what? Character, that is suppose I will take it as suppose 20, and I have told you it must ends with a semicolon. So here I will write this and I will give a semicolon. Okay, so this is how to create this table, and the table name is student. So I have to write the keyword create, then the keyword table, then name of the table. Name of the table is student. Suppose you want to create a employee table, then you have to write here employee. Okay, then the first column name is student ID, then the data type is INT, then you have to separate it with a comma, the first column description, then we are starting the second column, that is the name, and character is the data type, and it will hold up to 15 characters. And marks as the data type as decimal, then put a comma, then stream is the column name where it stores either commerce or science or arts, and the character and its size is 20. So this is how we used to create this table. Okay, so after creating this table, now see it will create an internal rectangular structure with those column headings. And after creation of this table, how to insert rows in the table? Suppose I want to insert data, suppose student ID as suppose 1592, name as suppose Ram, and marks as suppose 95.5, and stream as suppose science. I want to enter this row or add these rows to this table with the following data. So first what I will do, see after creation of the table, what we have to do? We have to there is a command that is insert command. Okay, and insert command is used to add rows or insert rows to the table, and it is a DML statement. Okay, and see, for that what we will do, what is the syntax? We will use insert is a keyword. In the MySQL prompt we have to write insert, it's a keyword. Into is a keyword. Then we have to specify a table name. I will specify a table name, and in this case the table name will be student. Then we are having a keyword values, it's a keyword. All blacks ink I am using, all these are keywords. And we used to have what, see, and before having these values, just I want to have, this is optional, but insert into table name, then we can have column names, and suppose column 1, column 2, so on up to column n. If I am having 10 columns, I have to write column 1, column 2, so on up to column 10. Okay, then we will have values, and I want to provide a data to column 1. So I have to write, suppose this is data 1, this is data 2, so on up to data n, and you know it ends with a semicolon every statement. So this is the syntax for what, to insert a row or add a row to the table. Okay, first what we have to do, we have to use this keyword insert, then the keyword into, then we will provide a name to the column, then we will go through the columns that are available in the table, then we will have the keyword values, then we will provide the first column 1 data 1, the second column data 2, and so on up to column n data n. So this is how to insert rows to a table. Okay, so now I want to insert this row 1592 to student ID, RAM, and 95.5 and science. Suppose the student joined in the school or college, and I have created this table to store rows, and this student RAM joined the college. So I have to insert this row to this table. And how am I going to insert? I will use C, insert into. Okay, what is the table name? I will use the table name as what? Student. The table name as student. Then what are the columns? See, column 1 name is what? Student ID, STUDID, this column name, the first column name. Then I have to give the second column name. What is the second column name? Name. Then what is the third column name? It is marks. And what is the fourth column name? It is stream. Okay. Then values is a keyword, and suppose, and see, this column 1 and this data 1, they are associated. So whatever data I will provide first will be inserted in the column that is student ID, and whatever data I will provide it here, it will be provided to name, and so on. So I want to store this 1592 in student ID. So student ID, I will have this as data as what? 1592. Okay, then what is the name of the student? See, the second column, I'll provide name as what? Ram. And see, it should be enclosed within a single quotes or double quotes, because it is a similar, that is character data type what we studied Java. Always those are referred as strings. Okay, and they are enclosed within a pair of quotes. Okay, then for marks, it is 95.5, this 95.5, and what is the stream? It is science. So I have to enclose, this is a character data type, I have to enclose within single quotes or double quotes. So after pressing enter, it will successfully add those row to the table student. So what will be our data now? So 1592 will be entered here. Then the name is Ram and 95.5 is the marks and stream is what? Science. Okay. So we have added the first row. Now come to we want to enter another row to this table. Suppose that data is 2693 and suppose name is suppose Arvind, mark is suppose 98.5% and suppose I will store it as commerce. Okay. So how to add again a second row here? See, we have added the first row. Now I want to add another row to this table. We will use the same command, that is insert command. And how to use it? Insert is a keyword, into is a keyword, and what is the table name? Table name is student, and the first column name is student ID, then second column name is name, third column name is marks, and fourth column name is stream. Then we will use the keyword values. Now we have to change the data here. And what is the data? I want to store 2692. So I have to write 2693. Then for name I have taken as Arvind. Is it the correct way? No. We have to enclose within a single quotes or double quotes. Then 98.5. Then your commerce. And it has to be enclosed also within all the character data types has to be enclosed within a pair of quotes. Okay, so this is what it will do, and it must ends with a semicolon, and after pressing enter, it will add those data, that is the second row, 2693, Arvind, 98.5 and commerce in this table student. So this is, suppose you want to add another row, again you have to use this same insert command with the table name, columns and the values. Okay, so this is how we created a table, how we inserted rows to the table. Now, so now very important, see once we have stored rows in the table, see these rows are also referred as tuples and these are referred as, columns are referred as attributes. Okay,